So you want to anticipate the types of questions that you might be asked in the physical therapy school interview to best prepare a standout response. I don't blame you. I was the same way. When I had my interview come in, I was like, what types of questions are they going to ask? Well, lucky for you, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 5 types of categories that the types of questions might be asked and share some examples with them. However, if you want all 20 plus questions that they might ask you, please feel free to download that worksheet in the description below so you can learn all of that. These types of questions, I did not make them up. I've been working with students one-on-one with the interview prep, and they gave me feedback and told me, hey, these are the types of questions that these schools have asked me. So if you want that information, please feel free to download that worksheet in the description below. So let's get into this. Lego. Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Dr. Live for a Change, Justin Lee, physical therapist. I'm a PT school admission expert, and I help students who are not confident get accepted into physical therapy school the first time. This video is part of many in the physical therapy interview series on my YouTube channel. I definitely recommend you watch that if you have an interview coming up. I'll put the video link playlist in the description below. So I taught you the 5 most commonly asked questions in the physical therapy school interview in a previous video. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, I really recommend you to watch that because I guarantee they'll ask you at least one of those videos. Make sure you go to that playlist and check out that video. Alright, so these are the 5 categories on the types of questions you might be asked. Number 1, situation-based questions. Number 2, questions on your knowledge, base, and skills. Number 3, questions on interpersonal relationships. Number 4, questions on your personal life. And number 5, ethical and philosophical questions. So let's get into some samples of every one of these categories. So situation-based questions. A type of question sample might be like, can you provide an example of how you've handled a stressful situation in the past? Or another type of question might be like, how would you motivate yourself to study when you feel overwhelmed and unmotivated? Right? How would you answer those? I'd love to hear in the comments below. Hey, you know what? Some of the responses you might give might inspire some other students to have a similar response and help them get accepted into PT school. Wouldn't you want that? Alright, next, let's get into questions on your knowledge, base, and skills. Okay, here's a sample question. What do you know about the different fields of physical therapy and which one interests you? Number 2, what is your perspective on the APTA vision and mission statement? Now this category is on your knowledge base and skill. So they're trying to see, hey, are you knowledgeable in our field and what do you know about it? You know, I've even heard questions like, what is the gastrocnemius? Right? Or I heard a crazy question one time saying, what is your knowledge on homeostasis? I don't know, right? So these are kind of hard to prepare for because you don't know what they might ask. But you know, if they ask you something that you might know of, then this is something that can definitely help you stand out. Okay, next category. Questions on interpersonal relationships. This is absolutely critical because physical therapists are all about working with people. So they want to learn how are you able to have these interpersonal skills. So some questions, some samples might be, tell me about a time when active listening paid off. Or, tell me about a time when you led by example. All right? Okay. 4th category, questions on your personal life. Sometimes PT schools want to know, professional stuff about you, but they also want to know, hey, what kind of person is this? Are they well-rounded? Do they have hobbies? This is the time when you should share this, not during the time when they ask you, tell me about yourself. Oh my gosh, that is the worst. By the way, if you do want a step-by-step process on how to answer that question, make sure you go to the video playlist on the PT school interview, and I tell you in that video, tell me about yourself. I know you'll get a ton of value and a step-by-step process to organize your response. Okay, so here are some sample questions for this category on your personal life. Number 1, what was the last book you read that you found interesting? Right? Have that in the top of your mind. This has actually been asked several times, so make sure you are ready for that. Number 2, if you could ask your friends or family, what would they say is your biggest flaw? Be careful how you answer this one. It's a trap. All right, last category, ethical and philosophical questions. They might ask you something like this. What would you do if you saw someone cheating? Or describe what diversity in the physical therapy setting means to you. Now, these are just some sample questions, but if you want all 20 plus questions that I have prepared, please make sure you download this worksheet in the description below. Now, I just want to add some brownie points and some bonus value for you. For those of you who are watching this all the way to this point, this in a way where you respond, this is a way how you can stand out a little bit more. So instead of just answering the question, answer it in a way where you share it in a story format. So for example, when they ask you, what do you know about the different fields of PT and which one interests you? Instead of saying, oh, well, I know that there's neuro, ortho, cardiopulm, pediatrics, and pediatrics interests me the most. Instead of saying something like that, you can say something like this in story format so that you can stand out a little bit more. So I know that there are different fields like ortho, cardiopulm, pulmonary, neuro, and pediatrics. However, during my experience when I was doing a volunteer experience with a clinic that had pediatrics and orthopedic patients, I found that I was most intrigued with physical therapists that were working with little kids. I thought it was amazing how they were creative with how they treated, and I found that this really aligned with my creativity, and I feel like I can use my creative knowledge to really put forth more value in the physical therapy school profession. Out of those two responses, which one sounds more standout, more lively, has more emotion, and which one do you think will be remembered, right? Woo! Guys, I am so stoked for you to have your interview. If you need help, I have an online course called Crush the Physical Therapy School Interview, a step-by-step guide to stand out and leave a memorable impression. And I am confident that this course will give you the tools to elevate your interview skills, to prepare you in the best possible way so that you can go in feeling confident and leave a memorable impression so that you can get accepted into physical freaking therapy freaking school, baby. This course has already helped so many students get accepted into PT school, and I am super confident that it will help you too. You know, I have done, like I mentioned, I have done one-on-one meetings and sessions with students for physical therapy interview prep. And from that service, I pulled out all the relevant information and packed it into this course to help students like you and have a larger impact. I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but the students, when I did one-on-one interview prep with them, I have a 100% acceptance rate from the time of watching, or from the time that you're watching this video. I have a 100% acceptance rate from all those students getting accepted into PT school. So, because of that, I feel very confident that you can get accepted too with this online course. Every day is a great day to lift weights, lift others, and lift yourself up. Stay lifting, stay little hot. God bless. Have a great one, you guys.